first game of today is going to be Team Immune versus Sunder as well. So I just want to have a look, because we spoke about the players, we spoke about kind of their histories as well, but let's have a look at the actual heroes themselves and what people have been bringing out in this event. And there's been a couple of standouts. You know, Kwang has made quite a storm already, has had a very high presence in all of these games, but also Rampage coming up out of nowhere and almost dethroning Chimera as that priority jungle pick.
I think he has dethroned him at this point of time. King of the Jungle is back. Obviously had that fix on his E, his secondary ability, just make it a bit more strong, allows him to have a faster clear, allows him to duel better, and he is one of the strongest tanks in this game. Obviously, tanks have been a high priority no matter where you see the Richter, the Steel, the Sevlog have all been picked quite a lot yesterday. So we'll have to see if either Team Immune or Sunder want to go for it. But from what I remember, Shana really does love the Rampage, so Team Immune could easily first pick it.
Yeah, there's definitely some options here. Just having a look at, I mean, already we get quite a ban out of left field. We're going to have the Countess ban, which I don't actually think we saw a Countess yesterday either. So this, I feel to me, it has to be a bit of a target ban, right? You know, hitting a Countess. And I mean, in a best of one, as you said, teams do like to bring pocket picks in and some strategy there. So I'm wondering if maybe Sunder had something lined up with the Countess and Team Immune deciding, nah, we're not about that, just taking it away.
It's normally a ban you'd see in the second phase. You would either look for one of those high priority targets just to ban it away, which is easily blind pickable. Countess, although, I mean, if you know how to play her, she is very strong. She's not really blind pickable, often used as a counter instead. So I'm not too sure about that with Team Immune unless they have some sort of hidden knowledge about Sunder that we don't know. But we have the ban coming out through Sunder, and it's the Chimera instead of one of the tanks.
Yeah, so we normally have been seeing kind of the second ban on red side has essentially been kind of Richter or Decker, really. They've been one of the two picks, almost like high priority for a lot of this tournament as well. Teams opting to ban against them rather than let it through the draft. But this time, both of those bans are now going to be eligible, at least for the first free pick of either team. So I want to see where Team Immune want to prioritize. I mean, we're looking maybe to something like the Rampage. I mean, Richter being left open, and
there it is.
As you said, there it is. The Richter, such a high ban presence going to be on the board here for Team Immune as well. And we spoke about Ridwaano being a very proficient Richter player as well. This feels like a really good takeaway from the Sunder roster.
Yeah, well, it's 3 points. The Richter's just strong overall. He's a really good tank, has a decent amount of damage as well. You take it away from Ridwaano, and it's a flex point. You can put it in 3 lanes. Shynn could pilot it. You could put it over to Shana into the jungle, or Bondrewd could also be piloting it in that solo lane. Sunder, we do get the first pick of the Decker. I mean, we have seen Decker mids in the past, but realistically, that is going to be in that support role. And there he is. There's the Rampage.
King of the Jungle going to be back in that first rotation for Sunder. So we've just seen that almost classic combination. It feels like a bit of a throwback to FangBooths and also like kind of competitive predecessor of Days Gone as well. We're almost a year into the competitive scene. Rampage and Deco, just that standout combination, the pick potential from both these stasis bomb in towards the boulder toss from the Rampage is just so much CC, and it's almost at this level a death sentence, especially with players of this caliber as well. Team Immune going to be taking the Kwang as well. So we have the first game of day 2 of going to be Kwang, and also this was a pick that we saw a lot yesterday as well, so it really has come out swinging Amade's newest hero to the roster.
Yeah, I can still be put into 2 different places, so we still don't know where any of these picks for Team Immune are actually going. And another thing that Sunder picking up the Rampage, Decker Rampage is really strong as a CC. I think Richter Rampage is even stronger. You hit that boulder into a free Rip Blast, means that it is guaranteed. So Sunder doing a good job of just making sure that Team Immune does not have that pairing. So we do get the first carry coming through, and that is going to be the Trim Blast for Neft. I mean, do you give any sort of carry to Neft, he's going to do wonders with it. Trim Blast, he loves to pen build on it. He loves to go in that Mind Razor, Pain Weaver, Demolisher sort of build. Doesn't really like these guys to build that much. So I'm assuming that's what we'll get as we get the final pick of this first phase, and it is the Bellica.
Yeah, that's an interesting one as well. It kind of feels crazy to me that almost overnight Bellica goes from being first pick, first banned in every events that we have data for. But now Bellica here is going through the ban phase and also avoiding the first picks as well. But again, we go back to the players. It's a strong pickup for Sunder, but also a takeaway from Shynn, who has that potential to play it. Bans coming through, Steel and Howitz are going to be off the board as well. So we have still got some options here. Immune looking for their mid laner. Sunder also going to be looking towards that carry and the off lane.
Yeah, I like the Howitzer ban, just making sure that Empti cannot really play that long range sort of poke ability against the Bellica. Howitzer just having so much damage in this game at the moment. Has been picked quite a bit so far as well this tournament. So very good ban. Steel as well, just making sure that that last you've got several still on the board. Steel can be really put anywhere as well in this game still. So just making sure that they don't have any more of that engage. As speaking of engage, Zara's Colosseum is pretty good.
Yeah, this composition starting to shape up for Sunder is looking pretty terrifying in terms of the pick potential and also a very strong engage. I mean, combining Seismic Assault, Zara's Colosseums as well as Zara's been another pick as well that has come out swinging in these tournament games and really showcasing what they can bring. Also seen Zara's in the supporting role as well as a bit of an odd curveball. But what is not going to be a curveball is Team Immune Empti getting one of their signature picks, the Gideon, locked in for the mid lane. And then we're going to get the Seraph as well to round out this composition. The Bondrewd, I believe, is going to be... I mean, it could... I'm expecting this to be off lane, but it could also go jungle. And then we have Quang off lane. So there's a little bit of flex potential here.
Yeah, Team Immune. I mean, Victor is support unless we have a Krang support. That could also happen, but I very much doubt that would be a thing. So we'll have to see. I think it's going to be matchup dependent to see if they want to put the Seraph into the Zarus or the Krang instead. Gideon, of course, is going to be a safe mid laner, just having no real issues getting away. I think I would have maybe preferred the gadget in this situation. Might have been a bit more perilous against Rampage, but works so well into the Zar's Colosseum. And of course, the Murdoch being that last pick, very, very safe ADC. Works well. The Decker allows them to use their enhanced autos to get that extra poke down. And any sort of dive from that Krang or that Seraph can be used against them using those traps and that box shot to get away. Of course, that global ultimate as well.
Yeah, and so just having a word from production, we're going to have a bit of a game restart going on in the background. So we're going to be hopping on with the score, just the draft a little bit longer. Actually, that is a very quick restart as we actually do have the game ready. So I think without further ado, we're going to be hopping into the battleground for game number 1 from Group C, Team Immune versus Sunder. Both of these drafts completed. Let us know in the Twitch chat, where do your allegiances lie? Do Team Immune power back and show that they were, even when they're absent from the tournament, when they come back, they are still a team to be messed with? Or does Sunder upset the odds here and get a good victory against Team Immune in the groups?
We'll have to see. And it is that Seraph in the offlane. Bondrewd is going to pilot it, and we're going to have that Crank in the jungle instead. So that's going to be interesting to see how those two matchups play in to Sunder. And the other side, it looks like everything is standard. We are going to see that Decker in support and the Bellica in the mid lane. So no real mind games happening on that side of the map. And if we look at the map, it looks like it's going to be a pretty clean level 1. Nothing really happening. We've got a nice ward from Sunder there, just making sure they can spot any invades.
Yeah, just as we're flying around the map here, and also with that potential, I mean, both teams having such a strong level 1 as well. We normally see players that when they have the Richter on their team, normally you do look for those invades, trying to catch a member off guard. But also Sunder having that boulder toss and stasis bomb at level 1, I think that might have been enough to kind of dissuade Immune from starting something like that. So why would you go for the risky play? At least just play it safe here, as the minions are going to start to crash Fralcon and want to set up some of these in-game storylines as well. We've spoken about some of the characters in their composition, but talk about the lane matchups as well. Let's start with Empti versus Kimbo here. Gideon Bellica, pretty standard mid lane matchup, all things considered.
Yeah, Gideon's going to have the early push, going to have the early advantage, just has a bit more of a wave clear, has a bit more safety, so he can play more aggressive when needs to be. But as the game does go on and the items do start stacking up, Bellica is going to be able to really one-shot him if she hits that seismic assault. So I think obviously going to have that push, going to have that level 6 as well with Black Hole. So he's probably going to be looking to see if he can influence the map.
Yeah, I imagine that Empti's got to be so careful with with how he utilizes that black hole as well, because he is playing into a composition, stasis bomb, seismic assault, boulder toss. Even if he's too low to the ground, that barricade stun could shoot his. But there is a Riplash from Shynn already first on the board. Containment fence from Purple Swan stops it. Ridwaano with the level 2 gang going to hit the boulder toss on towards Shynn. Has to be careful. Will burn the blink to get away. So we already have the first opening exchanges, and it's Ridwaano coming in with the early level 2 gank.
Yeah, I like the aggression coming out of Shynn. Shows that he can hit those Whiplashes, which is always useful from a Richter. But the level 2 did come out through Team Sunder at the same time. And obviously, Ridwaano starting on that red side, he is going to be there for his duo lane. So they had to really... Immune really should have known that you were going to get a boulder to the face when that was coming through. But now that a blink was burned on the Richter, no less, so any sort of containment phase is going to be quite bad for them.
Yeah, as we have a gank here on the right-hand side, Shana with their first move of the day. JBoy gets a lot of return damage on towards Bondrewd. There's going to be a blink and a blink follow from Shana looking to get it confirmed. Tether will do the trick. Shana picking first blood up for Team Immune.
That was a nice end there, just using the sword to kill him. And again, that's another thing. JBoy just being a bit too aggressive, the same that Nef and Shynn did on their side. He should know that Shana is on his red buff, that he is going to be looking for any sort of help as we get another gank in the duo lane.
Ridwaano coming for the second move as well. Bit of a split fight. Ridwaano going on towards Neft. Going to try and get him away with a slow from that red buff. Neft holding on to the blink for so long. Going to blink away. But the Immune team do lose one member. Shynn is going to be picked off by Mettboy. Just be on the gold buff. So 1 kill each. Sunder on the board.
I really like Ridwaano's priority there. He knew that Shynn was dead. The duo of Purple Swan and Mettboy was going to be enough to kill him. So if he could take down Neft as well, at least blur the blink, it would have been very beneficial. Neft, though, having great patience, knowing that he was going to be alive and was able to get under tower. Although he's going to be a little bit down now because he has lost that kill. He has already got that soul chalice, so the first back was completed, and that's going to allow him to start stacking up. So he's not too sad about that. It's going to be 1-for-1 in the end, though.
Yeah, and also Neft actually going for that build, as you say. Shana, though, wanting to counter with a second gank to the right-hand side. There's no blink available, but this time Bondrewd has the Ascend and is more than happy to get the kill donated over to them. It's another successful gank from Shana and a kill onto each of those members. Bondrewd able to get on the board as well.
Good job, Bondrewd. He's back in the EU. He's back where he belongs, and he's going to start very, very strong so far. Has got that Violet Brute, so he's going to start probably building into that Basilisk, just getting that armor thread early on, going that kind of bruise rebuild that you see in that Seraph off lane, which I do prefer. It is just great for survivability, and yourselves, you have about 1 million downs anyway, so you don't need that many downs items. And I really do like Shana's just priority in that offlane. You really know where Team Moon is looking in this game.
Yeah, just definitely trying to get Bondrewd ahead as well. I mean, we know Bondrewd from previous events as well. Definitely known for the Sevarog and also the Grux plays. But giving them something like the Seraph to really hard carry in these fights as the game goes on. And, Shana giving that priority. You can see the game plan started to come out. And also, if Ridwaano's going to gank duo lane twice in a row, Shana may as well try and make something happen on that right-hand side. How about 3 in a row? A hat-trick of ganks. JBoy still doesn't have the blink available. And there's no warding here, so JBoy has to use the evade. But Bondrewd follows it with the Heaven's Fury. And it's going to add a second kill. It's a disastrous start for Sunder. But Team Immune are definitely going to be happy with that one.
I mean, how many is too many? Because it's worked every single time so far for Shana and Bondrewd. But at some point, JBoy... he needs to catch a break at some point, but I don't think that's going to really happen. Can we just get a quick look at the scoreboard? I just want to see the CS difference. So JBoy's on 24, Bondrewd on 42 at the moment. So it's just not the kills that are happening. It's going to be that XP. Bondrewd is level 6, JBoy is level 4. So I don't think Shana really needs to gank that lane anymore. Bondrewd can probably take care of it on his own. But, I mean, as it's going so far, I very much doubt that's going to happen.
We can see, Shana already moving into that blue side of the jungle. So in position as well. Ridwaano, after the first 2 ganks, did get the kill in that early one. But this time had to go back into the jungle just to get some more CS and get some more levels underneath him. But he's still sticking on the left-hand side. Shynn, very far forward. The bookshot comes down. There's the boulder toss. There's no blink available for Shynn, who's punished for his own aggression. And that's going to be him dropping. But Shana's here for the counter gank. Neft forced away on the tower. So there's a 1 versus 3. Trying to find Purple Swan. Empty from the mid lane, also coming in for the rotation. It's a very split fight once again. It's trying to find where all of this action is. It looks like everyone is able to get away. Only Shynn pays with his life.
And that's how hard it is to play into a Decker. Just any sort of missed Whiplash is going to be easily punished. Ridwaano doing a really good job as well, keeping this duo lane in check. And although we did see Empti rotate first, it didn't really matter because the Shynn was already didn't have a front line. And Shana didn't have any abilities left. But we're going to get a FangBooth, and this is really 50-50.
Coliseum comes down from JBoy. Ridwaano taking a lot of damage. Black hole over the top, interrupted. It looks like Ridwaano is able to keep himself alive, but not for too long. 2 kills from Immune. They are going to be dropping. Empty's going to fall as looks like Sunder going to pull back over on towards this FangBooth as no jungler up for either team. And that's going to be the secure. Sunder pulled the trigger, rewarded with a FangBooth.
They get that first FangBooth. They get a couple more kills as well, so that's going to even up that kill score. I don't know if they want to leave Bondrewd alone for too long. He has only got 60 CS, so he hasn't got that much compared to the rest of the team. It's not like he has got a massive amount ahead. But, you know, I do like how they play the Sunder. JBoy, obviously, knowing that he hasn't really got any lane left. He's only just hit level 6. Bondrewd obviously get that tower. So we have Ridwaano over here, though.
Yeah, Ridwaano, but also look towards the map, Shana, here as well. The Ascend comes out from Bondrewd, and Sunder decide to call off the player as, call it instinct. I don't think Shana actually was spotted on a ward either. So call it instinct, call it spidey sense, call it maybe not trying to force a play on towards Bondrewd. I do not know, but no one going to drop from that move in the right-hand side. But JBoy, losing that tower on the back end, but he does make the rotation as well. So the team does get a net positive, and just means that JBoy has to sacrifice some of his lane.
Yeah, I mean, tower for first FangBooth, it's not the worst trade in the world. It is a very, very early tower. And I think the main priority is that it's now Bondrewd is going to be able to rotate into this mid lane if he so wishes, whilst JBoy has to keep in lane. But, again, I don't really mind it too much for Team Sunder. I don't think you're too worried about the early tower take. You just got to make sure that you keep Bondrewd in check.
And also on that right-hand side, it's not one of these crucial towers that we see in the early game. It's normally the dual lane tier 1s are so important with these early FangBooth plays here. And that's where we have seen a lot of action. Shana looking for a play on towards Kimbo, but Ridwaano, right place, right time, able to come and hit him from behind with the boulder toss. Shana having to pull away from that one, but Kimbo does take a little bit of the pressure in the mid lane. We did see that early rotation from both of these lanes over towards the FangBooth pit, but we have gone back to a bit of a neutral state. Shana and Empti, though, wanting to push further in towards that blue side jungle, looking to try and catch on to Ridwaano, who goes big mode. He's going to go to the Behemoth, going to look towards the damage. This is a 3 versus 2 though for Team Me and Empti with the black hole, combining with Bondrewd, combining all that damage. They've grabbed onto JBoy. They're going to go get the kill on towards Ridwaano, and Kimbo was here trying to play the hero, but he might just see himself fall down to Empti as well. That's a 1 kill for all the members of Team Immune. Big collapse in the blue side.
And that's probably the mini prime as well. You're going to have Bondrewd and Shana still healthy enough to start taking that. And that play just started because of how much pressure is coming out of the mid lane and the solo lane. That first tower means that Bondrewd can just walk up in that lane. And Empti, he's playing the Gideon. He has got that early pressure against the Bellatrix. He can push and serve that range and help Shana come through. So it was a 3v2 at the start of it. And by the time Kimbo was there, I mean, the tanks were already dead.
Yeah, good combination of abilities as well. And Team Immune starting to pull ahead with a little bit of a lead in the kill department as well. Just having a little look at some of the levels. Mid lane is even, dual lane is even. But I feel that, that main difference is going to be in jungle and also the solo side. Both Bondrewd and Shana 1 level ahead of their opposite number, with the kills and also just taking those members off of the board for a little bit longer. It's been a rough old time for JBoy in that solo side.
Yeah, he's not having the best run in the world. Zaras does scale quite decently, so he's going to be able to do stuff in the mid game at least. But against a Bondrewd, who has finished that Basilisk, is going towards that Bone Seeker, you don't win those fights.
No, so Bondrewd is going to throw out the Heresy Ultimate and get damage on towards JBoy. Underneath the tower, the blink has to come out from JBoy to get away. The tick damage coming through. Not going to be enough to find a kill onto the Zaras, but Bondrewd leaving their mark on that right-hand side. And with the Prior and with Shana over here, they're going to start to take up their first mini prime of the day.
Yeah, and I think they give this over to Bondrewd as well. He's doing so well in lane so far. I think you just keep giving it to him and allow him to just completely take over this game will go quite well. And I mean, this dual lane, nothing's actually really happened apart from that 2 minutes fight. So it's just been the rest of the map that's just been going on. The mini pipe has been taken. We don't know who it's on just yet. We just know it's not on Empty.
Yeah, for sure. Hayes, we're just gonna have a hover around. It looks
There
like
he
it is
is.
going to be on Bondrewd, as you predicted, Fralcon as well, just to make that off lane even more oppressive for JBoy, who is going to be without the blink once again. Empti just in a bit of a 1 versus 2 here, dealing with Kimbo and Ridwaano, able to use taunt space, get himself to safety, and Empti on this Gideon pick as well is something I want to highlight, especially with how Team Immune play as well, just allowing him to be so aggressive in these plays, but doesn't have the mana, has to burn the blink, but will respect Ridwaano at least. Does take a boulder toss for his trouble, but there's not enough follow-up damage to really go for the tower dive. Shynn is here, so Ridwaano backs away.
Do you want to talk about how you cast a cursed Empty to lose his blink there, or do you want to talk about the hero?
We're just going to gloss over that one, Falcon. Don't worry about that.
Okay, yep. So yeah, Empty I really do like on that Gideon. He's able to do those active plays. Again, I don't really like the build too much. We saw it yesterday in Calipito. It just takes too long to actually get that damage online as we see Sunder take the second tank too. But even Moon's coming in.
Yeah, Immune with the torn space, looking for a pick. Shin's Riplash does go wide. Can't find a lockdown just yet, but Mettboy the first one to drop, and that's going to be the kill. Empti throws down the black hole as Kimbo and Purple Swan trying to deal with this Gideon, but Empti is the one, drops the meteor on the head of Kimbo, takes down his opposing mid laner. Sunder lose 3 as they try to contest the Fangtooth. Purple Swan is in danger as well. Shynn with the loop around. Over on that right-hand side, Bondrewd is currently inhibitor diving onto JBoy and is able to get the kill.
How did that happen? As we keep going through the mid lane, the Containment Fence is going to force the blink out of Sin, but nothing else comes with it. And, I mean, the Fangtooth was taken by Sunder. Really good job of just getting there on time, getting the kills, getting the kill down. So they are on that second Fangtooth. But Team Moon just using that torn space to get into that pit, just to be able to completely shut down the Team Sunder there. And I mean, I was saying that I don't like Empty's build, but when you're level 10, when you're high level to every single person on Team Sunder, I guess it doesn't matter too much if you don't actually have a damage item.
Yeah, especially like when you are ahead, you can at least leverage that advantage you have in mid lane, and also with the rest of Team Immune being ahead as well. So you actually do have a little bit more safety to allow for that scaling to come through. It's not like, oh, I need that instant damage right now, so I'm just going to abandon the scaling. Scaling idea. So Empti, really is going to be one to watch in these late game fights. But Immune starting to do what Immune does best. They're pulling ahead inside of this mid game fight. It's 11 kills to 4 as it about to approach the 15-minute mark. Empti's got this much confidence. He's just going to face check into Ridwaano, takes the boulder, but he really doesn't care at this point. He knows he has the safety. He also knows that Shynn was behind just in case there was the potential engage here. But Team Immune looking really strong as we approach that 15-minute mark.
It's also 3 levels ahead of Ridwaano, so that is going to be an extra to that. And I just want to point out to Neft as well, he has gone that pen build. He has got that Mind Razor Pain Weaver online, so he is going to do a ton of damage to the likes of Mettboy and Kimbo in this game. You don't really see it that often, especially when we saw it in NA. They do prefer that Stormbreaker Skyslayer build, just having that consistent damage. Neft is definitely one of those people who does love that pen build, though, and I think we do definitely see it more in the EU. He might have some issues going through that rampage come that mid to late game, but right now he is in a pretty good place. He also has 10 CS a minute, like Neft normally does.
Yeah, just Neft is the farming simulator king of EU as well, because it's actually been a very quiet game for Neft, honestly. I mean, he's sitting on 3 goose eggs as well, not really been involved in the fights. Has taken a bit of pressure early on, but he's just been farming, getting himself, keeping him in the game as well. As Ridwaano is going to bump into Shana just at the mid lane stairs, but I don't think he's really in too much bother. Bondrewd just going to dive the inhibitor once again, going to force JBoy out of the Phoenix. Now there's the engage coming out from Ridwaano underneath this tier 1 tower. Boulder Toss connects on towards Shana, who's locked up by the Decker as well, and they're able to get the kill onto the opposing jungler, looking towards Shynn next. Ridwaano with the pounce, with the rumble, trying to find the slow. Empti doing what they can, throwing out the damage. Mettboy going to get that kill. Bondrewd, though, has entered the fight, and what can Bondrewd do in these plays? Sunder's going to start to back away. They're more than happy with the 2 kills, and they don't overstay their welcome.
Although Team Moon definitely has a lead, it does not mean that Sunder does not have that damage. The Rampage and Decker combo can and will lock down people. So Shana may be going just a bit too aggressive, getting a bit too greedy, trying to take down that tier 1 tower. That's one space. That's a black hole as well, Mettboy.
Yeah, Mettboy's got to be careful. They're trying to burn him down through that damage. True Silver Bracelet keeps him alive for just a little bit longer, but it is more than enough. Good containment defense. The body blocking coming down, and Empti is going to eventually go down. Kimbo will get the kill onto his opposite mid laner.
I mean, it's a 1-for-1 trade. You still probably lose tier 1 tower because you went too hard onto Empti there. I don't think Shynn kills Purple Swan, especially with that boulder. But because of them going so aggressive on Empti, they basically just left that tier 1 tower to be taken. Bondrewd is trying to kill Kimbo instead, I feel like. But, you know, that's just a Bondrewd thing. This game has got that Bone Super online going into that Bone Sword as well. So just stacking as much HP as possible.
Yeah, Long Arm of the Law unable to connect on towards Bondrewd, but tier 1 tower mid lane does eventually fall down to the minions. I mean, really starting to group up around this mid lane. They're going to back away because FangBooth is on the board again. It looks like there might even be another mini prime spawning just before that 20-minute mark as well. So options available here. But as you say, Fralcon, you know, Sunder still have the damage. They still have that pick potential. And Immune, if they overstay their welcome too long, Sunder definitely have the tools in their kits available to at least punish that. They're going to look towards Mettboy. He finds himself alone, and Shana's going to hit the tether. Going to go for the surge to knock up Mettboy, having to blink away back towards his team. Riplash connects from Shynn on towards JBoy. The Zarus is down. Didn't even get the ult. Ridwaano going big mode with the Behemoth as well, trying to confirm this damage down, but no one dropping just yet. But Bondrewd is left unchecked in the backline, takes down where the initial target is able to remove that. Murdoch still grouping up, but they've got JBoy, they've got Mettboy, and they're going to pull onto this FangBooth.
Murdoch had no right to be walking there like he did. Mettboy just being too lazy on that. He needed to have those wards. As they don't even kill Bondrewd, the rock actually missing slightly, so I mean, you don't gain anything from that, but Sunder just being not really cohesive enough needs to be... They need to have those wards out there first before they walk like that. And Shynn also getting a very nice hook onto JBoy in that fight. And, I mean, I think JBoy has defensive items, but you wouldn't be able to tell from how fast he died.
Yeah, he did absolutely crumble under the pressure from this Team Immune squad. Sunder with the grouping up, though, on this right-hand side. Going to go for the mini prime just before it switches over to the big prime as well. So at least they're going to take a consolation neutral objective. Looks like it's going to be given over to Kimbo on this right-hand side. I mean, without Ridwaano having to use the Slay, there's no contest from the jungler. So he's able to donate it over to another member. Was Kimbo the right target, do you think, Fralcon?
I think Mettboy would have been the perfect one, but he was on the other side of the map. So of the people who were there, I definitely think Kimbo is the most useful, has got a decent amount of damage online. I don't think it's really any point giving it over to JBoy and Ridwaano at this stage of the game. They are just kind of CC bots / death bots, as JBoy is just about to die to 3 people from Team Immune.
With the grouping up, Ridwaano is at least here, but Heaven's Fury coming out from Bondrewd. Good stun by Ridwaano, able to keep JBoy alive. Containment defense going down as well. Hey, Mettboy, how are you doing? Doing a lot better than Ridwaano, at least as the jungler is down. Shana gets that kill credit. They're on the hunt. They're sieging. Kimbo still has the mini prime buff, and that's who Empti is looking for. Looking for the combo. Can't confirm the damage, and Kimbo does get away.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened, how that started. It looked like JBoy was just trying to push the lane a bit too much. And, I mean, Mettboy's still on the other side of the map. This should be quite an easy or prime for Team Immune. There's no hunt on the side of Team Sunder to have to try and steal it. So it's going to be down to really if they can delay them and allow all prime to be taken, or at least do a decent amount of damage. But that's not really happening.
They're going to be thrown down. Bondrewd is the one still tanking this as well, as the long arm of the law did come down, but Shana is there with the hunt, able to secure it, and Team Immune do get away cleanly as well with the All Prime buff.
It's going to be a lot harder for Sunder to survive now. They need to look and see what they can give up. I think realistically, you don't defend these tier 2 towers in that mid, and the Dura lane look to maybe try and survive these inhibitors instead. When you look at Sunder's team comp, they don't actually have the best wave clear in the game. You have got the Bellica with the Void Bomb and the Seismic Assault, but you really want to use that Seismic Assault for when Team Immune dives. And Murdoch, although his autos are very strong, his wave clear is from his buckshot, and he has to be way too close to actually use it.
You know, I imagine as well with Team Immune with these engages, you know, that buckshot is much like the Seismic Assault, much more useful to try and get Team Immune away and try and disengage. But Empti just playing with confidence. Torn spacing up towards the tier 2, getting some pressure down. Shana, Shynn is also here as well. Shynn with flash does go wide, but the tier 2 tower does eventually drop in the dual lane. And Sunder have got to be careful. Ridwaano does pop the raise back, reflects a little bit more damage back on towards Nef, but not enough to really matter. Your Prime will regenerate that very quickly out of combat. As the siege is happening, Bondrewd on the right-hand side has found a pick on towards Kimbo, perhaps. Has to use his Ascend to get away, but these mini-waves still crashing in. JBoy having to deal with it. Sunder split apart from left to right as Mettboy's going to be left alone. What a whiplash from Shynn. Pulls him back to his demise. And that means Team Immune get a free inhibitor on the left-hand side. Bondrewd making quick work on that right lane inhibitor. And Team Immune, with the confidence, going to go and try and end the game here as well. Shana pushing the mini-waves in. Another whiplash connects from Shynn on towards Ridwaano. Can't go bid mode. Can't get himself out. Empti with the black hole onto 3 members. He's going to get the health bars low. They have the fountain available, but Empti's still pushing forward. He's still going to find that kill and still keeps himself alive. Immune still sticking around. Neft starting to throw some damage on towards JBoy, and look at what the Twin Blast can do. Can't get the kill on towards JBoy. They're playing with their food as Bondrewd is going to push the last mini wave under the core, and Immune just needs to tidy this one up and take down the main target of the game. The core drops 23 minutes is all Team Immune need to take game 1 in the groups.